Now in 4 News Now at 6, from burned ballots to missing votes, how officials are working to keep your ballot safe and ensure every vote counts. Join us to see the steps being taken for a secure and accurate election.
Voters could reshape the Board of Commissioners in Spokane County, from crime and clean water to allegations of campaign law violations. We sit down with incumbent Al French and challenger Molly Marshall to hear where they stand on the issues that matter to you.
You'll want to have an umbrella with you if you're going trick-or-treating tomorrow. I'll help you plan around the rain hour by hour in your Halloween forecast. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Well, we are just 6 days away from Election Day, and candidates are making a final push to try to earn your vote. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Election officials across the country are doing everything they can to make sure ballots are secure and counted accurately. This week alone, we've seen ballots fall out of the back of a delivery truck in Miami, and hundreds of ballots destroyed when someone set 2 drop boxes on fire, one in Portland and the other about 15 minutes away in Vancouver. And right now in Whitman County, officials are on the hunt for at least 200 missing ballots.
At the Spokane Elections Office, they're making sure only eligible ballots are accepted. That means making sure everyone who voted still lives in the area, is eligible to vote, and is actually still alive. Our Marissa Rio explains how all of this information is verified.
Maintaining the voter registration records is a process we do all year long.
Keeping the voter rolls clean is essential to protecting election integrity.
I'm confident that across the entire state of Washington, our voter rolls are accurate and as up to date as possible.
To keep Spokane County voter registration records up to date, Vicki Dalton says they get updated information from several different avenues.
Driver's licensing. We get information from the Department of Health on death certificates. So when someone dies in the state of Washington and a death certificate is issued, we will get that information. And then we have to be able to match the name and the birth date and preferably the address in order to remove a person from the voter registration records.
It is possible that the elections office could send a dead person a ballot if officials have not been informed of the person's death.
And there are safeguards in place just in case someone does attempt to vote on behalf of someone who has already died. As you can see right behind me here, the people at the computer are verifying signatures, and the Spokane County Auditor says that if someone did attempt to vote on behalf of someone who has died, the signatures would not match.
Though this attempt is rare, according to the Associated Press. There are also safeguards in place if someone receives more than one ballot. For instance, let's say they requested a replacement ballot.
Each one of those is tracked separately, and we will only count one of those ballots. So as soon as one of those envelopes is received back in, it immediately updates the database, and only one of those will be counted.
In Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Well, more than 200 registered voters in Whitman County still haven't received their ballots.
So we went to Colfax today to speak to the Whitman County Auditor about how they went missing and what voters should do if they haven't received their ballots.
This is unprecedented in Whitman County.
The town of Garfield is all the talk right now ahead of Election Day. More than 200 registered voters in Garfield, most of whom have post office boxes inside this post office in town, still haven't received their ballots.
I talked with my third-party vendor. I inquired with the post office. We have escalated this up to the state level. I'm talking with them daily.
Whitman County Auditor Sandy Jamison says, like most counties, Whitman County uses a third-party vendor to send out ballots. They were all supposed to be mailed out by the post office in Spokane.
And they said they had a 99.6% success rate. So then my next question was, well, where are my ballots then?
Jamison says the post office has 2 investigators looking into it. She's confident they'll find the missing ballots, but the question is when, and will it be too late?
You know, did they get delivered to the wrong post office? Did they get delivered to the wrong state? Are they sitting in a box or a tray somewhere?
Jamison feels the frustration of the voters who haven't received their ballots, but she's asking them to be proactive so the county can get them a replacement ballot. You can call the Whitman County Elections Office at 509-397-5284 or go online to votewa.gov and enter your information to print out a replacement.
And if you don't have a ballot yet, please call our office. We'll get you a ballot.
She said they can even do it same day if you get it in the mail before the post office deadline that day.
Hopefully more people see your story and know that number and know how to get their ballots.
Yeah. All right. Tomorrow, the streets of the Inland Northwest will be filled with ghosts and ghouls on the hunt for candy.
And we're making some modifications to the costumes at my house because of the rain. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker has been warning us about this all week.
Well, before you go whole hog on the rain boots and the umbrellas, there have also been some modifications to the forecast, just with some new information coming in the last hour. Let's take a look at our radar presently, and we have some very light precipitation crossing the Cascades. That will be heading into the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area late tonight. Our forecast radar, starting off at our current time, initialized as well, shows that initial band of precipitation. Then we'll get the steady rains going in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene overnight. We'll be drying out toward the morning commute. Here's 7 a.m. We've got light precipitation through North Idaho, the central panhandle, and the Northeast mountains, but a dry start in Spokane. Then as we get into the day, we'll start to see some showers rematerializing right around 5 o'clock when the smallest of the trick-or-treaters are heading out to get their candy. But we're really backing off on the evening precipitation, showing more rain coming in late on Thursday night and into Friday morning, long after the little ones have called it a night. It is going to be cool, 47 degrees for a high tomorrow. We'll be dropping into the 40s and even the 30s by the time kids are heading out to trick-or-treat. I'll be back with a closer look at that precipitation on the way and a soggy 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, Chris, we'll still be watching there. Well, we still have a little while before Election Day, and the number of Idaho voters who have already cast their ballot has exceeded the total number of votes in this year's primary. So far in Kootenai County, more than 33,000 people have cast their vote. And in Spokane County, more than 154,000 voters have returned their ballots. Of those, around 1,100 voters in Spokane County have challenged ballots.
Yeah, this means there's something preventing the elections office from accepting the ballot for processing. Allison Martinez explains why this might be and how you can prevent it from happening.
Here at the Spokane County Elections Office, workers are meticulously studying your ballots and making sure your signatures match the one on your driver's license or voter registration card. Those that don't fit into the category of challenged ballots. As soon as your ballot slides into a drop box, you are relieved of your civic duty. However, in a few circumstances, further action is needed.
So a challenge ballot is there's an issue with the signature, or this ballot envelope was not signed. Those are the main two reasons for challenge ballots.
Spokane County Elections Manager Mike McLaughlin says they also see the mistake of ballots signed by other people, like a husband signing for his wife or vice versa. If there's any problem with your signature or voter ID, you'll be notified as soon as possible.
So if you do get a challenge ballot, we will call you. We will text you if you signed up for text messages. We will email you if we have an email address for you, and we will send you a notification.
So what happens if you don't turn in your ballot until Election Day? Don't panic, your vote will still be counted. The Elections Office has until November 25th to get in touch with you and cure your signature.
More about, do you want your ballot counted and released on election night or in the days following?
The best way to double check the status of your ballot is by going to votewa.gov. There you can see if your ballot was accepted or rejected. In Spokane, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Well, former Washington lawmaker and controversial leader Matt Shea wants the city of Spokane to pay him $24 million as part of the fallout from a religious rally in 2023. Here is video from that rally. Shea was on stage with then Mayor Nadine Woodward as they prayed for victims of the wildfires that were raging in Spokane County. The rally and Woodward's appearance drew criticism, including from the Spokane City Council, because of Shea's previous actions and involvement with Christian nationalist Sean Feucht. Woodward later disavowed Shea, saying he turned a prayer service into a political event. In his filing this week, Shea criticized the council's condemnation of the event. He said it was retaliation against him for exercising his constitutionally protected right to free speech.
All right, still ahead. Jackhammers to excavators, local high schoolers got hands-on experience at construction days at the Spokane County Fairgrounds. Hear from the teens considering an alternative path to college.
And we sit down with the candidates for Spokane County Commissioner, see where they stand on the issues you care about, next on 4 News Now.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
As a local reporter for almost 30 years, I have seen politics up close, the good and the bad. But since we closed the primaries in this state, it has gotten worse. Party bosses changed the rules, and that cut out 275,000 voters from participating. And wouldn't you know it, elected officials are now even less accountable to the people of Idaho. Prop 1 reopens our primaries for all taxpayers, so we can pick the candidates that work for us. I'm voting yes on Prop 1 to give power back to the people of Idaho.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Maria Cantwell knows prices are too high and we have to fight back. That's why she passed a law to take on big oil traders spiking gas prices, and why she's fighting grocery store mergers that would lead to higher food prices. Cantwell also took on drug companies and won, capping insulin for seniors at $35 a month and capping seniors' out-of-pocket expenses.
I'm Maria Cantwell, and I approve this message because I'll take on anyone to protect Northwest consumers.
With just 6 days to go, tomorrow morning, GMA is right there, inside the campaigns, in the swing states, with all the morning's first breaking news on the final sprint to Election Day. Every morning, first on GMA.
Jared Sessler is Mr. 30%. Sessler wants a 30% national sales tax on everything. New house? Under Sessler's plan, you pay 30% more. New car? 30% more. Bacon, eggs, milk, 30%. Healthcare, gas, electric, cell phone bills, you pay 30% more. Jared Sessler, Mr. 30%. Is there anything he won't tax? National Interest Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's a contentious election, often not suitable for young eyes and ears.
Kids are very much paying attention to politics.
And political messages can show up in unexpected places.
That to me was really shocking.
Why are kids so tuned in? And which family members could be influencing them more than you know?
I don't think parents would necessarily expect that.
How can you help your kids feel safe?
What is a healthy way to discuss politics with your child?
Watch Thursday on 4 News Now at 6. Welcome back. This year, voters are being asked to choose 3 out of 5 county commissioners in Spokane.
But what does a county commissioner even do? And what powers do they actually have?
Well, you can think of them like the city council, but for the entire county. They enact ordinances and approve budgets, oversee spending and hiring for the entire county.
And the only contested race is between Republican incumbent Al French and Democratic challenger Molly Marshall. The two will battle it out in District 5. That district covers the area shaded in blue here on your screen. It covers most of the western part of the county, including Cheney, Airway Heights, and Medical Lake. Our Alexandra Cohen-Yart spoke with both candidates. And Alexandra, what makes this such an important race?
Derek and Kirsten, the area covered in the district is rapidly growing, and for the last few years, it has been dealing with a PFAS contamination. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been poured into this race, both for and against candidates. And the winner will decide the party majority of the Board of Commissioners in Spokane County. Molly Marshall and incumbent Al French have different priorities for the 5th District in Spokane County. For French, the focus is on crime. For Marshall, it is on the PFAS contamination the area has been dealing with for years.
First step is really getting a group together, a task force full of community members and experts to start working this issue.
Those living in the area have expressed a lack of transparency on the PFAS contamination issue, but French claims he has a plan to address it.
And we are working very aggressively to go after state money and federal money to provide filtration systems for those that live in the rural areas.
French persists that his commitment, if reelected, is to provide resources for public safety agencies.
The crime rate, particularly in the city, but that creeps out into the county, is being challenged with some of the policies at the city.
Both candidates are in agreement that the lack of infrastructure supporting the area's development is a pressing issue. This concern is what motivated Marshall to run.
In the comp plan, you need to put infrastructure in place prior to development or while it's being developed and get that financial commitment within 6 years of this development. That hasn't happened.
French argues he is in the process of working with the city to improve the infrastructure of the area. Ads against French from special interest groups have been released in recent weeks, and a recall effort was launched against him in August. Marshall told us she was not involved with either of these instances. During the primary, French beat Marshall by less than 1,000 votes. This is a complicated one. You can read about both candidates on our website at KXLY.com. Live in studio, Alexander Conyarts, 4 News Now.
Your evening forecast, we are dry for now, but not for long. We have rain moving in late this evening, and that is going to be picking up overnight. We'll be in the 40s through the evening. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Election night, this is where America turns for answers. ABC, Election Night.
During our spectacular savings event, save up to $15,000 off or 0% APR on a new GMC Sierra 1500. There are never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
Chase really knows how to put the heart in your local community. See what I did there? Hey, Jackie. Evan, my guy. You helping him with savings, right? I wish I had somebody like Evan when I started. Somebody just got their first debit card. Ice cream on you? Oh, tacos. I got you. Wait, hold on. Don't you owe me money? What? Your money is a part of your community, so your bank should be too, like Chase.
Our community is at extreme risk for wildfire, from Latah Valley to Indian Trail to the West Plains.
The firefighters of Spokane County endorse Molly Marshall because she knows what we need to make our community safe. She'll fight for missing infrastructure like fire stations and safe roads.
You deserve transparent government that will help keep your homes insurable and your families and neighbors safe.
Join us and vote for Molly Marshall on November 5th because responsible leadership matters.
And now a joke from Yolks Fresh Market. What do goats eat for breakfast? Blueberry pancakes.
We have an important choice to make for Lands Commissioner. King County Councilman Dave Upthegrove presided over 30 million gallons of raw sewage dumped into the Sound. Year after year, beaches closed, shellfish poisoned, a tribal lawsuit threatened, costing taxpayers millions. There's a better choice. Jamie Herrera Butler is a bipartisan leader who protected endangered salmon and is fighting for sustainable timber harvests to prevent wildfires. Vote Jamie Herrera Butler. She'll protect our environment and our tax dollars.
During our spectacular savings event, save up to $8,500 off or 3.9% APR on a new Sierra 2500 HD Pro. There are never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
All right, we're in the final stretch in our annual Coats for Kids campaign, with tomorrow being the final day to donate a new or gently used coat.
And Chris, all month long, you have been helping to collect all of those coats in the giant bags that
Yes.
we've seen you carrying around.
And we're getting them out into the community. There's, of course, a list where you can find a coat on our website. The need, I have to say, I've been doing this a long time, greater than ever, especially in some of the outlying areas. If you don't have a chance to donate a coat, your monetary donations are also very welcome, and I'll do the shopping for you. Let's take a look at The current conditions right now, it's mild, 49 degrees and cloudy in Spokane. They're still reporting clear skies at the airport in Coeur d'Alene, but I see the high clouds filtering the sunset there. It is going to be raining before long. We have rain coming overnight. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. A showery Halloween, although I am happy to tell you that we're starting to see a little bit of backing off on the timing of that rain in terms of your trick-or-treaters. Mountain snow, and it is going to be wet at times this weekend. Presently, it looks like Saturday is going to be the wetter of the 2 weekend days. Getting the timing on these systems is a little bit tricky until they're practically on the back door. Right now, our chance of rain is at 0 through most of Halloween day, and then up to 40% as we get into those prime trick-or-treating hours between 5 and 9 o'clock. Cold front is coming through right now. That's going to bring the steady rains overnight. Expect a soggy overnight, but by 6 a.m., most of that wet weather confined to North Idaho, the central panhandle, LC Valley, and just a few spots in eastern Washington with some lingering showers. We're dry through most of the day other than a few mountain showers. Now here's 6 a.m., and this is the newest model showing a few spots on the Palouse with some rain and staying mostly dry in Spokane other than a sprinkle here or there. And then as we get home, kids are in bed, they're dreaming of trick-or-treating. We bring in the rain full force for a very soggy Friday. Snow level is going to be dropping, but primarily it is going to be at pass level. We're going to be down around just below 3,500 feet. Still some minor accumulations on Snoqualmie Pass, but in terms of Moscow, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, no measurable snow. You may see a little bit of snow mixing in some of the northern valleys, but our winter weather advisories are above 3,500 feet in those mountain areas. Could see up to a foot of snow. Your planning forecast, a lot going on in the weather, a lot going on in our lives. We've got rain on Friday and a good chance of rain on Saturday. Set your clocks back. Daylight saving time ends Sunday early morning. Sunday looks like the drier of the 2 weekend days. More showers Monday and Tuesday, but not the rain events that we're expecting for the next couple of days. Election Day Tuesday and some sunshine on Wednesday. Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Hundreds of high school students got to drive some heavy machinery at Construction Career Days at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. The 2-day event helps educate high schoolers on careers in construction and skilled trades by giving them those hands-on activities.
And that includes driving bulldozers, excavators, and other heavy machinery. Derek Strom spoke with students about what they learned from the event.
It's really cool to see how everything works.
Hundreds of high school students from around the Spokane area got to try all kinds of different construction equipment at Construction Career Days, from handheld tools all the way to plows, jackhammers, and bulldozers.
I want to try the steam roller. Yeah, that seems really fun.
Our Construction Career Days is hoping to educate kids on the opportunities in the construction field and the need for those jobs. It's hoping to do that by giving kids hands-on opportunities to try out some heavy machinery and some informational booths here with some hands-on activities as well.
The opportunity to drive something like a bulldozer is the most fun part of the event for most kids, but the organizers behind the event hope they can teach kids about alternatives to college as well.
We have a ton of contractors inside ready to talk to them about what it's like in construction. They go over wages, what that would look like for going into the industry, all the different career paths and opportunities.
One of the organizations at Construction Career Days is Trade Up to Construction, which helps connect people with training and careers in the construction industry. It often works with recent high school graduates looking to get their first full-time job in the industry, and it says more students are coming to these events knowing they want to pursue a career in construction.
There is such a huge need in construction moving now and then moving forward that the construction field is never going away. If anything, it's growing more and more, and we need our high school kids now to get in the field.
Trade Up to Construction also hosts trade nights, hiring fairs, and competitions for things like carpentry. Monroe says he's very encouraged by the hundreds of students that showed up for this year's Construction Career Days. In Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, a pretty cool deal. Still ahead, the Sheriff's Office and the Air Force respond to a bomb scare at one local museum. What triggered that scare? Next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had to give more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
We're calling it November.
November.
Because we're all voting no on Initiative 2117.
No, I don't want funding cuts for our roads.
No, I don't want to increase the risk of wildfires.
No, I don't want to hurt small businesses like mine.
No, I don't want cuts to public transit.
No, I don't want to put our clean air at risk.
We all know the threats of 2117.
And we're all
voting no this November.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Why is liberal Carmilla Conroy mudslinging and stretching the truth? Maybe it's to hide her extreme plans for an open border, drugs pouring into the country, and higher taxes. Conroy doesn't fit our district. Michael Baumgartner will protect our families, Social Security and Medicare, ensure veterans get the benefits they've earned, fight inflation, and make our neighborhoods safe by securing the southern border.
I'm Michael Baumgartner, and I approve this message.
4 News Now is brought to you by Custom Truck.
This morning, the Spokane Valley Heritage Museum was anything but normal as the bomb squad and Air Force were called in. This is because the museum told police they may have live World War I ammunition.
Yeah, authorities quickly responded, and the 37mm shells were taken and inspected. It remains unclear if one shell is actually live or not. Our Hunter Bertram shows us why the museum had it in the first place.
It's not every day that the bomb squad gets called out to a museum. However, on Wednesday, that was the reality for the Spokane Valley Heritage Museum.
Stepping into the Spokane Valley Heritage Museum is like entering a gateway to our past, with old telephone switchboards, antique glasses, and even very expired baking powder, which all tell a story of how we once lived, just as founder Jane Singleton envisioned.
You know, when you are a museum, you get some very unusual things donated, some very historically significant things donated.
Like this sign from an era when butter and eggs could be bought for less than a quarter. But over the weekend, a new collection of donations came in. A man's father World War I memorabilia collection, which included these World War I 37mm shells.
We do war exhibits, but it's best to go and get the expertise of someone like the bomb squad or the police department.
And they did.
It's good to know that we have those types of individuals willing to come out.
The bomb squad, Fairchild Air Force Base, local fire and police came out to investigate.
We just stood off to the side and waited to find out, are these shells okay to keep in inventory and to display at some point.
After x-rays and inspection by experts, one shell remains undetermined if it's live or not.
So one went with them. So we're not interested perhaps in having that one back until we know for sure.
In all, for Jane Singleton and her museum, she says today was
another fun-filled and exciting day, as one of our volunteers who's here somewhere always says. Every day is going to be a fun-filled and exciting day, and it is. It always is.
In Spokane Valley, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
She's got such a good attitude. Well, we have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
Including why tens of thousands of Ram pickup trucks are being recalled.
And dozens of volunteers fill downtown Spokane, cleaning up the city streets and its image. What the local businesses say needs to be done next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This November, stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. It's time for an autumn getaway. Now is the perfect opportunity to come stay and win. Call us now to book your room starting at just $79 midweek and $99 weekends at the beautiful Kootenai Falls Lodge. And join us for a $10,000 giveaway, Tournament Tuesdays, and November Hot Spins. Put some extra stuffing in your pockets this November, only at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Initiative 2124. It's purposely misleading. So here's what you need to know. Independent analysts say if I-2124 passes, it will bankrupt our affordable long-term care benefit, leaving millions of Washingtonians with no options but private insurance that charges way too much and routinely denies coverage to millions with pre-existing conditions. Don't let it happen. Protect your long-term care benefits. Vote no on I-2124.
Experience frightfully good deals at Consign Furniture and Jewelry. Store-wide discounts with up to 70% off retail and all consigned, one-of-a-kind unique pieces. Plus, get 20% off all online purchases using promo code SPOOKY.
Consign Furniture. Easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Yo voto con mi mente y corazón. Nosotros votamos por todas las personas y sobrevivientes que han tenido que mantener el silencio por tanto tiempo. Voto por mis antepasados para resolver todas esas injusticias que han pasado. Y voto por el futuro para que mis hijas y sus hijas tengan un lugar equitativo para acceder a servicios que nuestro condado ofrece. Mi voto, mi voz.
Next DT from Universal Studios Hollywood. Halloween week rolls on with the talk co-host Amanda Kloots, plus Scream King Matthew Lillard. Oh! Next DT.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
I'm an ancient mosquito who drank dinosaur blood.
Spot on. Babies, this is terrible.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, spray-painted walls, piles of litter, often seen scattered around downtown Spokane. But this morning, these volunteers donated their time to erasing graffiti and clearing out trash, hopeful to leave a more welcoming look to downtown. Those volunteers teamed up with the Downtown Spokane Partnership for their fall cleanup, focusing on the downtown core and Monroe Street corridor.
And that's where we find our Jordan Smith live tonight. Jordan, it had to have been uplifting to see so many take pride in cleaning up downtown.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was such a great turnout here this morning, and it's a challenge to stave off things like graffiti. And all these drivers coming by here, every day they've seen graffiti tags on the walls here of this viaduct, but not tonight. It's all the same color, and it might be a small step, but it is a step forward in cleaning up downtown.
There's plenty of people who take pride in this area, and it's a spot we should take pride in.
About 60 volunteers came downtown with the goal of leaving it better than they found it this morning. Eduardo Castillo says volunteers cleaned out planter boxes, picked up trash, planted lilacs for the spring, and painted over graffiti tags scattered within the Monroe Viaduct. It might seem like a small fix, even a temporary one, but it's a win for business owners and residents alike. I visited Black London's barbershop today, just on the outside of Brown's Addition, an area familiar to graffiti artists.
It got better for a little while, but then after a while it actually sort of tanked again.
One of the barbers, Ladarius Johnson, described how something as simple as spray paint alters the perception of a business or an area of town.
When you have somebody that's right down the street spray painting over somebody's beautiful art on the side of a building that, you know, you have so much traffic rolling through and seeing, it sort of creates a little bit of a hindrance, and sometimes it paints a negative picture on the area that we have.
He's excited about cleanups like these. He's hopeful for a positive ripple effect.
The more that we can get the community together to do a lot of these outreach moments, it'll really improve.
And by the sounds of it, more and more people are getting involved, from business owners to random passerbyers, helping clean up downtown one piece at a time.
They were a huge help in getting that one solid color, and hopefully we can keep some of that graffiti down and keep it beautiful down here.
And again, it may be a small step, but it is a significant one. It's not too often we're complimenting the underside of a viaduct. But if you do want to get involved with these volunteer opportunities, just go to the Downtown Spokane Partnership website. That's downtownspokanepartnership.org. Reporting live in downtown tonight, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
I just kind of like they're all high-fiving each other for, taking pride in their efforts.
Doing something good makes you feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. Well, let's send it over now to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker with a look at some green on the radar there, Chris.
We have not had much green on the radar lately, so it is a welcome sight as we see it crossing the Cascades. Very little of what we're seeing here is reaching the ground yet, but it will be soon, and it is moving east into the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Our chance of precipitation starts out at 0 until about 9 o'clock, increasing around 11, and then by the time we're into the overnight, that's our best chance of some steady wetting rains. Those will begin tapering off right about the time kids are leaving to catch the bus. Hour by hour, your Halloween forecast. By 8 o'clock, we have only a 20% chance of showers tomorrow. Fair amount of clouds and temperatures staying in the 30s through 10 o'clock. We'll be in the mid-40s by 1 and dry through the first part of the afternoon. By the time the little ones are heading out to trick-or-treat, we have a chance of showers, but I think it's going to be fairly light and very hit and miss. I don't even know that I would bother with an umbrella. High tomorrow, 47 degrees. It's a little below average. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast. A lot more wet weather to tell you about. Plus, it's Wildlife Wednesday.
La comunidad para mí se ve unida a través de la defensa.
That is a Spanish election ad that's been running right here on 4 News Now. This advertisement was created by Mujeres in Action, an organization that helps domestic and sexual assault survivors in the Latin community. They've also helped translate election information and connect it with Spanish speakers in Spokane.
Madeline Mullins spoke with some women at Mujeres in Action. Madeline, what did they tell you about the importance of having election information accessible for everybody?
This woman you see on screen, this is Jackie Garcia, and I spoke to her today about why it's important to have these ads available on TV. She told me it's important that because these ads show people in the Spanish-speaking community that their voice matters.
Having your voice heard is a big reason why people vote. But what if the voice telling you how to vote is in a language that's not your first one? Mujeres in Action hopes to fix that problem by airing advertisements that showcase voting resources in Spanish.
And what better way to let them know that their vote matters than to tell them in their native language.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, over 14,000 people in Spokane County speak Spanish at home. With these advertisements, MIA hopes to reach those Spanish speakers exactly there, home.
Even if you had just like 10 people who spoke a different language, you would still want them to be a part of the process.
Jackie Garcia, community organizer at MIA, says that she realized having access to voting resources in Spanish was important after realizing all of the other things in the U.S. that are not in Spanish either.
Be read your Miranda rights in your language, or, going through writing a protection order and not having it in your language, all of these different instances kind of showed us that, there is that barrier of language.
Those barriers are why Anna Trusty, the interim executive director at MIA, says voting is so important.
As we were witnessing these barriers, we were noticing that the electeds have the power to make systems more available to our community, so that's why we got involved in voting.
Showing elected officials what you care about is what Garcia says voting does, and why she encourages everyone, no matter what language they speak, to get out and vote. Now, along with these advertisements, Mujeres in Action has also translated a Spokane County voter pamphlet to Spanish. To find that voter pamphlet and other resources that MIA has, you can find a link to their website on KXLY.com. In the studio, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Madeline, thank you. Well, how much do you talk about politics at home? The election is just days away now, and our eyes have been focused on candidates and issues But what about our kids? Experts warn kids are not just passive observers. They are picking up on more from our divided political atmosphere than we think. Whether it's overhearing conversations between adults or from their own devices, shielding children from politics is not only not an option, but it's really impossible.
That I think that, you know, having those devices, even if you have like parental controls on them, if it is true that these advertisements are finding their way into YouTube Kids and onto the like kid games like Minecraft, that's, you know, that's, I don't think parents would necessarily expect that. And so they may not think that that's happening.
So how can you navigate this contentious landscape at home and have healthy conversations about politics? We will have the answers to those questions tomorrow at 6 o'clock in a special report.
Well, in news around the Northwest tonight, investigators in Oregon are searching for this car in connection to the hundreds of ballots that were burned in Portland and Vancouver. The Portland Police Department also released a description of a possible suspect, saying they're looking for a man in Portland between 30 and 40 years old, and they believe he intends to burn even more ballots. This is a developing story, and we will update you as we learn more.
A consumer alert for anyone who drives a Ram pickup truck. More than 33,000 Dodge Ram 1500 pickups are being recalled over stability issues. Chrysler said the system that keeps the trucks from losing control in critical driving situations could fail. The recall impacts certain 2025 models. Chrysler dealerships will repair the issue for free. Owner notification letters will be sent out in December.
Well, the FDA announced today that it's expanding the recall of Dynacare brand baby powder. The recall expansion is due to recent tests that indicate a possible risk of asbestos. The FDA says the recall is now affecting products in 35 states. That's up from just 12 states in September. The company says it has stopped the distribution of the products and is investigating to determine what caused the contamination of the talc.
Well, the Cougar football team may have a bye this week, but there's still plenty of work to be done.
Hear from head coach Jake Dickert on how the Cougs are gearing up for a focused finish next in Cougar Chalk Talk.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Consign Furniture.
What's all this? You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
Maria Cantwell knows prices are too high and we have to fight back. That's why she passed a law to take on big oil traders spiking gas prices, and why she's fighting grocery store mergers that would lead to higher food prices. Cantwell also took on drug companies and won, capping insulin for seniors at $35 a month and capping seniors' out-of-pocket expenses.
I'm Maria Cantwell, and I approve this message because I'll take on anyone to protect Northwest consumers.
Are you struggling to get through the day? Are you experiencing chronic pain, burning, numbness, and tingling in your hands or feet? Pay attention, because you are probably experiencing peripheral neuropathy. The most common symptoms are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, and problems with balance. Neuropathy is treatable, and our office can help. It's time to get real results. Pick up your phone and call us right now. If you're one of the first 25 callers, you'll receive a free nerve damage screening. This nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious nerve damage and if you're qualified for our cutting-edge treatment program to stop the nerve damage. Don't wait until it's too late and your symptoms get so bad that you lose your freedom and are restricted to a wheelchair, walker, or need amputation. Call now to be one of the first 25 callers to receive a free nerve damage screening. Hurry, call now to find out if you qualify for our free nerve damage screening and see how we can change your life. It's time to feel better. Call today.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables.
This is Tony.
Things that I've tried have failed.
And this is Tony's Good Feet story.
Before my arch supports, I felt defeated. But since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain, which still is kind of crazy to me. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out. I would recommend it to anyone. You've tried everything that's not working, give it a try.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Well, Washington State is putting in the work during the bye week and taking the extra time to fine-tune things heading into the last 4 games of their season.
Yeah, the Cougs are off to their best start to a season since 2018, but they aren't taking their 7-1 record lightly in this week's Cougar Chalk Talk. Sydney Berger explains why head coach Jake Dickert is focused on the finish.
The Cougars have entered the part of their schedule Coach Jake Dickert likes to call the focus finish. It's the final 4 games of the regular season, and lately the Cougars have been feeling less like predators and more like prey.
We are now the hunted. You know, we are. I mean, you see people faking punts and kicking onside kicks, trying to beat us. Like, you know, we're now the hunted. You know, in the old Pac-12, we were always the hunter, right? So we still got to keep that hunter mentality and stay aggressive.
Coach Dickert has been reminding his players to focus on the finish, whether he's talking about the 4th quarter or the final 4 games of the regular season. The bigger picture is on the line.
I think it's good to create a vision and really drive home the purpose of what we're doing. You know, we have a chance to have a special season and to really make some lifelong memories for this football team. And so we looked at that, talked about it openly, and then headed right back in the dark today, and we're out here practicing in 35 degrees. So
Washington State is 7-1 and ranked 22nd in the country with 4 opponents left that haven't won more than half their games. The Cougs don't care how they get there. They just want to win out the rest of their schedule.
You know, 1-0 every week. I feel like as long as you take care of business and you get the win, it don't really matter how you got the win, because it's like we could beat a team 70-0, we could beat a team 29-26. It's still going to say 1-0.
The Cougars are on a bye week this week and will be back at home in 2 Saturdays in a game against Utah State at 7:30. Reporting in Pullman, Sydney Berger, 4 News Now Sports.
Well, the college basketball season starts next week, and for the Cougs, it's a start of something brand new. A new coaching staff, a new conference, and a whole new roster. Losing all of its starters to the NBA or the transfer portal, Washington State is only returning 2 players from last season's NCAA tournament team. Head coach David Riley says it's been a process trying to put together a competitive roster, but bringing familiar faces from his previous program at Eastern has confidently helped fill the gaps.
And I can't imagine doing it without bringing 4 of our Eastern guys, and then also having you know, our coaching staff with me as well. So that was a huge help, and to have a couple guys that came back like Isaiah and Parker was incredible. I mean, those guys kind of showed me the ropes on campus, and yeah, it was a work in progress.
Washington State begins the regular season against Portland State at home on Monday night. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. Now, earlier this month, the Inland Northwest Sports Hall of Fame inducted 5 new members, including former KXOI sports director Bud Namick. I had the honor of emceeing the event at the Spokane Arena. Now you can watch the ceremony right here on ABC4. The show will air twice in November. The first time is this Saturday at 9 p.m. And if you miss that, you can see it again on November 17th at 3:30. For more information, just head to kxoy.com/Hall of Fame.
Your Thursday planner, we are going to start the day off with some wet weather, but then dry and maybe even some sunshine in the afternoon. High temperature of 47, just a little below average, and then the chance of showers is back in the forecast for trick-or-treaters. I'll be back with a closer look after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
35 years ago, I started going to Planned Parenthood. They help Washington women with pregnancy care, birth control, even cancer screening. But Dave Reichert tried to jeopardize that care. Reichert has voted repeatedly to defund Planned Parenthood. It's part of Reichert's years-long record, trying to ban abortion nationwide, including here in Washington. No politician should ever tell me that I don't have a right to make a decision regarding my body. Dave Reichert is wrong for governor.
When it comes to remodeling your bath, there's fact and there's fiction. Fiction. Some bath remodels just cover up water damage. Fact. Bathfitter inspects and cleans your current tub area, and we make any necessary repairs before installing our product for a watertight fit. Bathfitter installations are built to last, with a lifetime warranty to fit your expectations. Get the bath that fits you. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest, we specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
As a local reporter for almost 30 years, I have seen politics up close, the good and the bad. But since we closed the primaries in this state, it has gotten worse. Party bosses changed the rules, and that cut out 275,000 voters from participating. And wouldn't you know it, elected officials are now even less accountable to the people of Idaho. Prop 1 reopens our primaries for all taxpayers, so we can pick the candidates that work for us. I'm voting yes on Prop 1 to give power back to the people of Idaho.
All right, welcome back. We've been talking about Halloween coming up tomorrow, and if you're going to have to bundle up and maybe pack an umbrella for trick-or-treating.
I know, I keep thinking about it. Maybe the earlier we go, the better off we'll be. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker is focusing in on that forecast, but hey, we got some animals to talk about
Yes,
first.
here's a good costume for you if you haven't come up with your idea yet. This is what I look like when I answer the door if you come after like 10 o'clock. No. Porcupine, they're so cute. It's hard, and if you look, they look so soft. You want to just pet them. We know you don't, but Mark Vogt shared this photo of just an adorable porcupine. It is Wildlife Wednesday. I have a few photos to share with you before I get to your trick-or-treat forecast. Ooh, here's keeping with the theme. Spooky owl, actually not that spooky. Carol Ellis didn't even have to go birding. This one just flew into her property and parked right there for her to take a photo. She must have known Carol liked an owl. Beautiful shot, Carol. Thank you so much. And finally, I love this photo of a very healthy moose calf at Turnbull. Mom was just out of the picture, and just the thick coat. This moose is ready for a good winter. I'll have all of these photos plus many more posted on my Facebook page later this evening. In the meantime, here are 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to rain overnight. In fact, that rain may be starting at your house already. It's going to take a while to get to Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. A showery Halloween, but it's looking less and less wet right at trick-or-treat time. Mountain snow a possibility, and it is going to be wet at times this weekend. Right now, especially on Saturday, to a lesser extent on Sunday. Forecast radar starting off at our current time with the rain moving in later this evening. Here's 1 a.m. with steady rains in progress around the region. Those rains will be tapering off right about the time of the morning commute in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, lingering through North Idaho, the central panhandle. Wouldn't rule out a little bit of snow mixing in some of those northern valleys, but nothing to shovel yet. And then we'll be drying out for most of the day on Halloween. Here's 5 o'clock with just these hit and miss showers. I think that the steady rains are going to hold off until after your trick-or-treaters are already home and getting into the overnight into Friday morning. Winter weather advisories are in effect above 3,500 feet for the Northeast Mountains and the Okanagan Highlands. Meanwhile, we will be seeing some snow in the passes through Friday morning, but shouldn't amount to much. The most problems will be over Stevens Pass. More rain on the way for Friday and Saturday. We set our clocks back early Sunday morning. You might actually get some sunshine on Sunday with only a chance of rain. More rain Monday and Election Day Tuesday, day after the election. Right now, looks like a cold morning, but some sunshine and dry conditions on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, navigating the real estate market can be a scary enough process for home buyers and sellers right now.
A so-called stigmatized property can make the process even more complex, but some home buyers may see opportunity. CNN's Karen Kafa has a look at the pros and cons of a property's past.
Home buying is an expensive endeavor.
It is arguably the greatest financial decision that you'll make, and so I think it's important to know absolutely everything about that property.
And a home's spooky reputation can impact a deal. The National Association of Realtors says stigmatized properties have been psychologically impacted by events like murder, alleged hauntings, or a notorious previous owner with no real physical impact. Depending on state laws, agents may be obligated to disclose a home's history. But Cindy Hagley, a real estate agent in the California Bay Area, says the honesty is just good practice.
If you don't disclose that to the potential buyer, somebody else is going to disclose it, or even worse, they'll find out about it themselves, and you never want surprises.
Albert Armieri is co-founder of HouseCreep.com, which crowdsources information on stigmatized properties that may not pop up in a home buyer's research of official disclosures.
This speaks to the importance of doing your research and having resources available to help in that journey.
Bankrate says that buyers willing to overlook a stigma may get a better deal, but downsides could include unwanted visitors to a home with a haunted reputation or high-profile crime history, and resale could be difficult later. Hagley says ultimately buyers need to weigh all the qualities that meet the eye and maybe some that don't.
And here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
When your child has moderate to severe eczema, it's okay for them to show off. Show off their clearer skin and noticeably less itch with Dupixent. Because children 6 months and older with eczema have plenty of reasons to show off their skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, they can stay ahead of their eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
I spent my career in law enforcement, the last years as police chief. When it comes to keeping Washington safe, I trust Bob Ferguson.
Bob's top priority is public safety. His plan to hire more police officers is exactly what we need.
He'll create a statewide response unit to tackle the fentanyl crisis.
And he'll put the $1 billion he won from drug companies into treatment.
To help us protect Washington,
I trust Bob Ferguson.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year.
Shop DaveSmith.com.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU, here for good.
All right, some breaking news just into the newsroom. A SWAT standoff is currently underway in the West Plains area. It's happening near Hayford and Geiger Boulevard. The sheriff's office tells us it started when deputies responded to a call about a man threatening someone with a baseball bat.
And when they arrived, the man appeared to make threats and went back inside. We have a crew on the way. We will update you as we learn more on KXLY.com.